I'm trying to get in touch with a fellow by the name of Leon Muhammad.
He's not in right now. He's the name and number. He's the first ticket.
Hey, well, listen. This is the Don King Memorial Fan Club calling from Cleveland, Ohio, man. I think you had something you wanted to talk about today, sir. That's why I was calling. But if you're not here, I guess have to call Earl Spence, man, and see what he got to say about it.
I ain't got nothing to say because you don't know nothing. What you say?
What's going on, old man?
It all started in Cleveland for Donald King, August 20th, 1931, in Cleveland, Ohio. That's where it all started.
What you talking about? You talking about the start of the Don King boxing career, or you talking about his date of birth, sir? Be specific, sir. These young people don't know all the history that you know, sir. That's why you're here to deliver it to them.
Okay. His date of birth, when he was born, Donald L. King, August 20th, 1931, in Cleveland, Ohio. Only guy in the history of his sport to come out the third attention with 2 homicides, become one of the greatest promoters in boxing history. You may not like him, and may tell you this and that, but nobody brought the money to the game like he brought it to the game. Listen, nobody made the kind of money they made. Ali made more money back in them days because he had Malcolm on him now. But Don brought the real money to the game. People talk about what Floyd did. Floyd didn't do nothing. He took it to another level. But the ones that opened the door, see, people always talk about what Floyd did. Look at the problem Floyd got now. Don ain't got the kind of problem. Am ain't got the problem. Look at the kind of problem Floyd got now.
Now, wait a minute, sir. You're saying Floyd, like everybody who's listening to this know who you're talking about. Floyd who, sir? What, Floyd Patterson? Pretty boy Floyd, the gangster? What Floyd are you? Who is Floyd, sir?
Anybody that named Floyd. I'm talking about all of them. You guys put me, Floyd Mayweather. Let me tell you something. We in St. Louis for the rematch. Corey Spinks and Zab Judah, early 2000s. We in St. Louis. So I'm walking around the hotel with Carl Kings. I got my little girl on my hip. And like I got this old woman Sharon here. I think she's a senior citizen preacher. So Don King had the show. So he gets on the loudspeaker. And he called Mayweather out. He told Mayweather that you need to come see the king. It's the only way you can fight Corey Spinks, you got to come time with me. That's why the Corey Spinks fight never happened. But to tell the truth, Chuck, no promoter in the history of the sport ever did an 8 world title fight in one night. Don King. And it was in Atlantic City. I was there. No one in the history of the sport, no one in the history of boxing has done what Don King did. And we think a lot today, the old man turned 95. 95. Came home in 1971 and ain't looked back. Who else in the history of boxing has done what DK did?
What?
Don did all the great heavyweight fights. Am did all the middleweight fights. All the great lightweight fights with DK. Am had the welterweight, and King had the lightweight and the heavyweight.
When was the last time you spoke to the old man? I
haven't spoke to him in a while, but I spoke with Carl last week.
Let's go, champ.
Carl is my guy. Carl is staying around. Carl's getting older now. You know, he's older. His 2 children is older. But his son, Nino, we call him Nino, his name is John Carl Jr. He takes care of his grandfather every day. He drives his grandfather around, but the old man's health is not good. We salute the king. He works a little. You say what you want about him, but all the fighters that have made money, what did Larry Holmes said? I still got money because of Don King. I made money because of Don King. See, guys talk about Don took their money in there, but Chuck, and I'm not defending Don. I'm defending what is right. The press say that Don King took their money, but the press don't tell you when the fighter called Don up and tell Carl to tell your father, man, I need $100,000. My girl want a new car and a fur coat. They don't tell the press that. When they fight and he takes his money back out, they tell the press he's stealing from. I was right there. Even with the Tim Witherspoon situation, when we fought Bruno, we came home at 90,000, but people don't know why he only got 90,000. People don't know the story. What took half of the first in London, England? See, people that wasn't there, they go by what these sports writers say. See, a sports writer only good what it was. And I'm in London, England. Me and Sam, you remember Sam Robinson at the Country Cup?
Yes, sir.
Slim and I in London, England. I'm not going to put Timmy's business out there, but Chuck, him and his brother messed that purse up. I put it like that. They messed the purse up. Listen, Chuck, listen. I came home dead broke. My wife told me, you got to walk away, man. You got to walk away because you can't be going to stand away from our family. My late wife, Rose Nevin Schuler, who I still love dearly today.
You always, you frequently mention how much you love Rose, sir. Let's go.
And she said to me, baby, you can't be going away from our family, staying 8 or 9 weeks, and come home, and you got to go in our stash to take care of our household. She said, if you're going to be away, she said, even though she said, Don takes care of you when it's on, but this situation with Timmy, she said, I beg you not to go to London, England. And she started right. Sometimes, Chuck, our women see stuff that we don't see.
Right.
So, now, Carl reached in his pocket and gave me $5,000. I said, CK, just give me some money to satisfy my wife, man. He said, I'm going to give you $5,000 out of my pocket. He said, Timmy brought you in the camp. He said, had I brought you to the camp, I would have been responsible. Timmy went to Carl, and Don said, bring Leon with us to London, England, and I got it. So when the money got messed up, and me and Tim laugh about this all the time, Paul went in his pocket because he's my dear friend. And he said, man, take this $5 and go home and give it all to your wife. And he said, here's $1,000 for you. So that shows you the loyalty that those guys and respect them guys had for me.
Well, I tell you what, Leon, just speaking of the great, terrible Tim Witherspoon, I know I was with him up at Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, hung out with him. But when we was hanging out with the guy, when we went to the funeral, I can't remember the gentleman's name. I tried to get old Tim on the phone, but he didn't want anything to do with you guys. Leon, it appeared to me, if I have to speak frankly, you know, a lot of things I've heard over the years, and I don't know what's true and what's not true. I don't know you to be a liar. I will say that, but I have heard that before, that a lot of those guys borrowed money from Don, and that money came directly out of their purse as soon as they got paid, as it should have, because I'm not in the business of giving away money. And I will loan you money if I know that I gotta pay you later on, because I'm just gonna take your money back as soon as I pay you. I'm gonna take the money you borrow off of me out of your pay.
Okay. Then you're doing scrap metal, and you want to like the lot you got next to your house. You decide to put something in, and you and the missus decide to put something in the lot next to your house. And you bring one of them guys that hang around the train station to help you, you're going to pay them.
Correct.
If they tell them to give me $20 and to take me to McDonald's, you're going to take your $20 out. Because he didn't buy me no food. He said, Mr. Chuck, loan me $20 until you pay me.
Correct.
So that's what what I'm saying. So all these guys, Mitch Green and all them guys, man, listen, man, all of us love the Timmy. We took care of Timmy. We took care when he didn't have no money. Before he got the lawsuit money, he used to come up to the Shula house and get money for me down in Marty.
Right. Right.
When his ex-woman, I ain't gonna say what she did to him. A matter of fact, we had a party for a ball player from down your end. He went to Carbon State. That old black college in Maryland. I think it's, I pronounce it Carbon State.
I think you're pronouncing it right.
So he gets up. So he wants Carl to be his agent. But Carl to me, I don't know nothing about basketball, man. He said, football I know because I got a lot of friends that play for Ohio State. Carl said, I can put you with Big Mike in Vegas. Don said, listen, we're in the boxing business. We're not in the basketball business. But we'll do something if you're playing football and you're from Cleveland. So Big Mike was from Cleveland. So when we fought Tony Tells in Atlanta, when Turbo Tim Witherspoon, your man Turbo Tim Witherspoon.
My guy, sir. My guy. Let's go.
That fall from grace, they want to blame us, Chuck. When I fell from grace, took up all my money, disrespecting my late wife, bro, that's on me, Chuck.
Right.
But I stayed around the game. I got guys like you and your wife look out for me. Shirley Pinker look out for me. Pat English, Captain Duba every now and then. She'll call me up and say, get over to Jersey. I'm taking you out to dinner, and me and my daughter. Because I paid my dues. I was fair.
Right.
I could tell that Timmy, he's mad at all of us because he messed up. We didn't tell you to buy Cadillacs for everybody, buy houses for girls you knock off on the side. You did that. You did that.
Right.
So you can't justify. John was fair. He just took what he had coming, man. I mean, you borrowed this man money to get your girl a new car. You thinking he supposed to buy your girl a car?
But why wouldn't he buy Tim's girl a car, Leon? Why wouldn't Don King do that?
Why should he? That's Tim's girl.
Well, you know something, Leon? Oddly enough, though, man, I remember years ago when I had harsh feelings toward Don King. To make a long story short, and my father didn't even know the whole story, but my father said something akin to what you're saying right now. It's like, he said the same thing. He talked about my pop was a trucker. He owned a trucking company. And he said the same thing. He said, man, I get guys coming here all week and borrow money for one thing or another. And then when they get their paycheck, they like, well, damn, I thought I earned this. You did earn this, but you borrowed this. And man, I'm taking my money back. Don't get mad at me because you done made $1,000 this week, but you done borrowed $950 off me throughout the week.
Your pop told you this a long time ago, man. He rest in peace. He told you this a long time ago, Chuck.
Yeah.
So you understand the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, man, be getting in the bed with these crazy ass lawyers that don't know left hook from a picture. And listen, Chuck, I like the fight game better when the mob ran it.
Okay.
What you had coming, you got it.
Right.
What you had coming, they gave it to you. If it was short, it was short. If it was big, you got it. Listen, Chuck, every time I went to camp with Chuck Butler, Miles Lance and them made sure I was all right.
Right.
Until Miles Lance died, he made sure I was all right. And then he put his nephew, and he said, before he died, he called from Florida. As a matter of fact, when I went down to see him, he said, listen, man, don't be with one promoter. Be with all the promoters. Help everybody. Get pointers for everybody. He said, because if one of them fire you, all five of them ain't gonna fire you one time. If you leave one of them, he fire you or get bankrupted, you got four other promoters to work with. So that's why I went with Don Bush, the Dubas, Raz Muhammad. I helped everybody if they had a card. So that's why today, Chuck, I'm cool with Don and all of them, and all the children love me, all the grandchildren love me. Because I was loyal to the game. See, them guys wasn't loyal. Let me see something. All them guys Timmy had right up on the end, he can't do it for him and get 20 off of them guys. Chuck, when you tried to call him right, when we all went together at David Memorial, he had like he didn't want to talk to me and Jimmy because he's mad because Jimmy wouldn't fix his car. You got 6 daughters. Let them get your car fixed. Do that make sense? And I love the 2-time Turbo Tim Witherspoon, 2-time champ of the world for Philadelphia. But right is right. You can't get mad with nobody because they don't get your car fixed, bro. You made a lot of money. You made a lot more money than I made in the game. I lasted longer than you did because I played by the rules. So when you, like Chuck, let me tell you this. You remember when Don and Bush were partners, right? They called themselves the Dynamic Duos.
I think I recall something like that. I was a young fellow, but I remember seeing them guys, yes.
We do Bang Bang Hines and Matthew Hilton. No, that was in Vegas. We do Buster Drayton and what you call them, and Bang Bang, Buster Drayton and Matthew Hilton in Montreal, June 30th, 1986, in Montreal, Canada. Don said to me, "You gotta take care of your business." I said, "What's wrong, boss?" He said, "Listen, man, I can't take the boy name. The Jew boy that had Buster. I can't say it."
Talk about Ivan. You're talking about Ivan Cohen. Let's go.
He said to me, Don said, "Listen, man, this Jew asked me to cut the check up." I said, "Listen," I said, "DK, this is what you're going to do. You're going to write 2 separate checks for Buster. You're going to give Mickey Dub his end, and you're going to give Buster a check, and you're going to ask Ivan what his cut is." And so what he did, because Ivan would take all the money invested and give Buster something that he needed. That's why when Buster died and couldn't take his medical bills, because Ivan still had money for him, but Ivan was selling it out to him, investing his money at the Jew he was, and Don helped me to that, man, because Ivan brought some lawyer in. When Don told me in '86, he said, "All these lawyers becoming managers," he said, "they're going to mess the game up."
Well, them guys found a way to steal, man. Like I said, man, you know, I always think about Ivan, right? Because I remember I went to training camp with Buster, man. Buster was my guy. He was like an elder brother to me. He took me under the wing when he thought I was serious as a fighter. I love Buster. But my point is, man, I went to training camp.
South Carolina.
Huh?
I said the late Buster Drayton started in Florence, South Carolina. He's a Carolina boy.
Right. But I went to training camp with Buster when he fought, what's my guy's name? Julian Jackson. And Ivan said he was going to send me a sweatsuit, man. I'm still here. Hey, listen, it's 40 years later. I'm still waiting for that sweatsuit, man. Mess around with Ivan, man. But you know.
You know the history of them guys.
Right.
That's why. See, them guys done play with me because they know I had street connections. None of them played with me.
Right.
The only one that used to drive me crazy was the late Butch Lewis because Butch was my guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mr. Jeremiah Anthony, I'm just doing the Master Butch.
Right.
I love them guys, but if you play with, listen, when people get ready for Mike Tyson, this is May of '88. We got a month to get ready. We got a tough month to get ready for Mike Tyson, June 27, 1988, Atlantic City on a Monday night. So Don called me up, like Butch called me. Don said, "You want to come up to camp with Mike Tyson?" I said, "Listen, I'm going to camp, but whoever gives me cash up front." Butch sent me to camp. Butch said, "Come down to my house, man." He said, "Listen, Don think he gonna steal you from me. They go 25 before you can go to camp." That's the first time, Chuck, I ever went to camp and had $25 that I could leave with my family.
Right.
And I can't wait to see my daughter.
Right.
Sabrina, Rose's daughter. She's gonna be in Atlantic City for the Hall of Fame. Even
Right.
We fought a couple of Don fighters, but I thought which was a better fit. Philadelphia Delaware guy, Philadelphia Chester guy.
Now, real quick, hold on, wait a minute. Now, when you say we, you talking about James Schuler?
The late James Black Gold
The
Schuler.
late James Black Gold Schuler. I'm sorry, I stand corrected. Okay, so when you say we, only for the, I know who you're talking about, but just for the sake of the audience, so the audience will know who you're talking about. So, go ahead.
And at that time, we, myself, the guys around him, and his father, Papa Paul, and we knew Butch's father because he had the used car lot in Chester. So I said to Pops, I said, listen, we should give this guy a chance. James was on in 1980 team that got boycotted him. And as a matter of fact, some of the guys before you, Chuck, he was close to them guys from Philly that went down on the airplane crash.
Yeah, right. Yeah, James could have easily been on that plane. Thank God he wasn't.
Yeah. And we decided once we got with Butch, when we left Butch, we went with we did the Tommy Hearns fight. A fight before that, we went to Top Rank, and I didn't go to Don King because I went with Bob Arrow because of the situation. Because he had Marvin Hagler. He had Marvin Hagler, and we was the number one contender. When James got killed, we lost to Tommy. He came home and got killed 10 days later. But what happened was the WBA didn't strip us. WBA left us at number one. We were going to take the suspension from the Tommy Hearns fight, get a nobody, and come back and fight Marvin in 60 days. Get James was going to call it quits. But turned out by God's grace it didn't happen that way. He lost his life. I miss my brother-in-law even going, and this year is the 40th anniversary. So Don have blessed us with his grace. He have opened a lot of doors for a lot of fighters. Even James fought a couple of Don James fighters, the late James Schuler.
You know, Leon, it's always a pleasure talking to you, man. You my guy. I remember years ago, the first time I saw you, I actually thought you was 50's father, Marcellus Autry. Both of our guy, but I thought you was his dad. And when I saw you again, we were up in New York. When I say we, I mean it was me, Tyrone Crawley, and Bowie Fisher. And your guy, the guy who we opened this whole conversation up about, Don King was leading the possession. We was at the weigh-in. I could tell you who was there. I remember it. It was Tyrone Crawley, Edwin Rosario, Renardo Snipes was on the card. And I remember the young man, Tunde Foster. I mean, Tunde's probably older than me. But I remember, and it was Don King was leading the charge, and you was right there with everybody else, right in the middle of it, man.
I remember you and Bowie. You were the late Bowie picture.
Yeah.
And the late number one contender.
Yeah.
Butterfly party.
Don't leave Smiley out. Don't leave Smiley out of the equation. Leon, how could you leave Smiley out?
What are you talking about? Smiley Billy Hayward?
Don't leave Smiley out of the equation, Leon. Don't do that.
Smiley Billy Hayward.
Yeah, don't leave Smiley out of the equation, Leon. Don't do that.
You know what? I got to get hold of Smiley's daughter because somebody got to come down and represent Smiley. Because me and Smiley was in the corner when Prince Charles won the title.
You ain't got to tell me, Leon. I was watching that tape of you guys happy when Prince Charles won. And I will say this, Leon, I don't think me and you discussed this, but I am in touch with Smiley's daughter. I will send you her phone number because what I did, I wrote a nomination for Smiley and Philip Allen to get inducted in the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame. Now, it probably didn't go through this year, but I'm gonna send a copy of it and send it again for next year, so those guys can get inducted into the Pennsylvania Boxing Hall of Fame. So I did do that. It took me a year to do it because I get the BSing around and not handling my business. But I did put a nomination letter together for those guys.
To his daughter, to let her know how much her father has done for me when I first come to Philadelphia.
Right.
How good her father was to me, how good Smiley was to me, how we used to be in the skin house having fun.
Right.
Eating fried chicken from night. What was it, John? From 19th of Columbia.
Right. No, that was 19th of Ridge, wasn't it?
No, the barbershop was the 19th of Ridge.
Right.
And then me and Smiley, see, I didn't know about that little spot at one time. Me and Smiley was somewhere, and we were downtown when Tim Witherspoon had got suspended, and the WBA, because when he fought Tubbs in Atlanta, they found weed and 2-time heavyweight your man Turbo Tim Witherspoon, who's mad at the world now. I love Timmy, and I love Mama Witherspoon. Right. So me and Smiley walking up to Smiley. Let me get me some money from DK. He said, yeah, man, what time to eat? It was a small joint called Meaty at 30th and Girard. Their soul food was better than ours. It was a little small, and they didn't have about 10 tables in there.
Right.
Every Tuesday we would go up there to have fried chicken and greens on Tuesday and Wednesday. Me and my crew would go up there. Me and Tom Frazier, Joe Frazier's brother, and the driver Lee Grant. That was our spot on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right. Right.
She took her time because her place was small. She had a morning crowd, and me and my wife, my late wife, used to go there at night for dinner. She didn't feel like cooking. She would ask the girls, Mom don't feel like cooking tonight. What y'all want? She said, Mom, let's go to Miss Neeson. Let me call Miss Neeson and order us some food.
Right.
And I would call Smiley. I said, Smiley, I'm up in Neeson. He said, man, I'll be right over there, man. I said, what you and your daughter want? Your daughter was young then. But that's what I love about Smiley. Smiley was good to me. So I got on board in the game. Smiley made a lot of them promoters work with me. Especially he was paying me Friday, he got to work with my guy. Smiley opened a lot of doors for me, man.
Hey, man.
I want his daughter to know that we ain't forgot it.
I'm gonna tell you a Smiley. I'll tell you a Smiley story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So after Smiley died, I stopped past to see his widow. Right there on in the 2900 block of Cecil B. Moore. My aunt and my uncle lived down the street from them, so I knew that Smiley lived right down the street from my people. So I stopped past to see Smiley's widow, and I'm talking to her. And right before I left, she asked me, she said, excuse me. She said, are you his son? And I said to her, no, ma'am, I'm not his son. I'm just one of his fighters. And that was the end of it, man. But, I think Smiley had a kid by some young girl.
Oh, my God, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chuck. I'm glad you said no.
Yeah. She would have dug old Smiley up and killed him again. I said she would have dug, even though Smiley was dead, she would have dug him up and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That was my guy, man.
Yeah, he was. So come on, Leon, close it out, man. You was talking about your guy. Your friend, your mentor, the great Don King. That's how we started this conversation out. Let's go, sir. What do you got? What do you got to say about your guy, Don King, man? So anyway, Leon, we started out talking about your guy, your friend, your mentor, Don King, sir. And you still you wanted to wish him a happy birthday, Leon Muhammad. You even got on here and defended Don King, because there are some people who say that Don King was a scoundrel and he ripped the lining out of his fighters' pockets. But you debunked that myth, and you told the side of the story that most people don't never tell, is that a lot of those guys were in Don's pocket, and he took his money back when they got paid with a little bit of interest. Am I to understand this correctly, sir?
Ain't no doubt about it. See, Chuck, when guys, a lot of guys, when he signed them, he didn't make the money out of his first 89 fight. He put them on shows and then paid them, brought their families in. People don't understand that, Chuck. Chuck, if you bring me one of your nephews right now, your son, my nephew, maybe one of his guys' sons, I got to put him on the card, build him up, get the right opponents so he can hold his own. And that's costing my team, Chuck. People don't understand that. You got to get your money back once the fighter make it.
Right. So what you were saying,
Sure, should have done, but see, I told Don this a long time. I said, DK, stop giving them guys money because they wasted, and then they tell the press that we taking something from them, man.
Right. So am I to understand this correctly? Basically, what you're saying is Don King would give a lot of those guys money on the front end and take it back on the back end. Take it back from them on the back end.
When he get a big fight, he take all his money. Don would ask him, you want me to take a little bit out of each fight? And they said, no, when I get the big fight, take it all. When you get the big fight, you got all your bills to pay, you got your girl in your ears, you want a new fur coat, all this car's getting old, I want to go on vacation with my girlfriend. Guys don't understand. They become getting money from DK, Carl, doing all of them to do this for these women. And then when it's all gone, the woman is gone. When the championship belt is gone, the woman's gone.
Right.
That's what I love about Prince Charles Williams. He was champion for 7 years.
Right.
And he ain't been champion in 30 years. But him and Cynthia are still together.
Right.
He was there when we get the money, and Cynthia's still there. Like Carl King's wife, my dear friend Shelley King. Carl King's wife, Don's daughter-in-law. She understands that we guys, we in the streets, we doing this, doing that, ripping and running. But 30 years later, after the bright light, all Carl Champion is gone, Jones and him and all of them go, she's still there. So,
right.
So some women was around us for the money, Chuck.
Right.
But my girl Rose, she made sure she got her in. She said, do what you want to do.
Right.
I get mine for me and my children. That's what I love about my late wife. And Don would tell me, he said, you got a crazy woman, but you got a good woman.
Hey, Leon, you know.
And you was all on respecting her, but she was a stand-up woman.
Hey, you know what, Leon? I just had a spirited conversation with my brother about this. And when I say about this, you got the women who with you for the money, and you got the women who with you because they love you and they with you. And what I was saying to my brother is fighters and athletes who are foolish enough to go broke, most of the time they go broke because they don't have a good woman in their corner. You look at LeBron James and guys and Larry Holmes and guys, Prince Charles Williams, guys who stay with their women. Your woman ain't gonna let you mess that money up, Leon.
That's my girl. Diane Holmes is sweet.
Yeah.
Cynthia Williams, sweet.
Yeah.
Terry King, sweet. That's one thing I'll say about guys. They was in it for the long haul. Right.
No, that's real talk right there.
And Chuck, and I like how you gave Diane Holmes her just dues. Diane Holmes, Larry knew what he had.
Right.
I'm not saying, I don't know the suburb and all that crazy madness. But what I will say, Diane didn't go get no lawsuit. Diane just stayed there and raised their children and trust in God. That's what she told me. She said, Big man, I'm going to raise my children and trust in God. It's going to be all right. And when the lights stop, he's still there. Still got that big house up in Easton.
Right.
And all the money she needs. I think she's about 70 now. I know Larry was older than her.
Right.
Larry's children's grown, his grandchildren grown, and he. So that to say that's what I like about Carl King, Don King's son, on it and looked on in America. And before we go, Chuck, I got to give the history of Don King.
Let's go. Take it from the top. Let's go, champ.
Came home in 1971, 1972, got in the game. The runner with Muhammad Ali doing the show, a celebrity show to save a black hospital in Cleveland. The rum in the jump in 1974. Thriller in Manila with Smoking Joe Pesci, 1975. Larry Holmes and Ken Norton, 1978. The War at the Shore. The rum in the jungle. Thriller in Manila. Edgar Thomas, Glory Hallelujah. Judgment Day. David Bay, this is it. Once and for all, Mike Tyson, Michael Spinks, June 27, 1989. No one have did the history than my man Don King. Happy birthday, boss. I love you. That's Leon Muhammad and the chapter sounding off from Band Promotion.
Hey, listen. You heard it, folks. I'm done with it. Bam!